Hi friends, welcome back. I'm Jehan. Today I'm going to share with you a recipe for Guyanese Salara. Salara, which is sometimes called red bread, is an enriched bread that's filled with sweetened coconut. The first step is to make the bread. We're going to get started by proofing the yeast in a bowl with warm water and sugar. While the yeast proofs, I'm going to set it aside and get started on the dry ingredients. To a bowl, I'm adding all-purpose flour, sugar, and salt. I'm also going to add vegetable shortening. Using my hands, I'm going to mix it all together, rubbing the shortening into the flour. You want to do this until there are no big pieces of shortening remaining. This should resemble coarse cornmeal. Next, I'm going to add this to the mixing bowl of my stand-up mixer along with the yeast. And this is what your yeast should look like after 10 minutes. Next, I'm going to add a beaten egg and warm milk. And I'm going to mix this in my mixer using the dough hook attachment. You can also do this by hand, but the dough is a bit on the sticky side, so if you find it to be a little bit sticky, add about 1/4 to 1/3 cup of flour. Don't add too much. While the bread is mixing, I'm going to get started on making the filling. To make the filling, I'm going to add shredded coconut, sugar, cinnamon, vanilla extract, and red food coloring to a bowl and mix it all together. The red food coloring is going to give the mixture the red coloring the Salara is known for, which is also sometimes called red bread or red cake. I'm using gel food coloring, but I believe the liquid works better. It just mixes in better. Now, if you're going to use red food coloring, be sure to look for no taste red, because using this amount of red can make your filling bitter. Of course, you can make this any color you want. You can play around with it, but to make it the classic Salara, it has to be red. On a floured surface, I am going to turn the dough out onto the counter. And I'm just going to knead this, just taking in a little bit of that flour so it's a little less sticky. And I'm just going to knead this for a few minutes, and then I'm going to form it into a ball. The full recipe is on my blog, gyancancook.com, and I will leave the link below in the description box. Once I've formed the dough into a ball, I'm going to place it into a large greased bowl. And I'm going to cover the bowl and let it sit in a warm place. I typically like to let bread sit on my stove because that's typically the warmest place in my kitchen. And just let it sit until it doubles in size. This usually takes about an hour. And this is what it's going to look like after an hour. You're going to see the bread has risen, and I'm just going to punch it down into the middle and then turn it out onto a lightly floured surface. That is way too much flour at this point. We don't really want to add too much flour to the mixture. Now I'm going to lightly knead it for about a minute or so, and then I'm going to divide this into half. I'm going to set aside half of the dough, and the other half I'm going to roll into a large rectangle. I'm using my marble rolling pin, which I absolutely love. Because of the weight, it makes rolling stretchy dough very, very easy. Once I've rolled out the dough, I'm going to brush it with melted butter. And don't be tempted to add too much butter, because if you do so, it's going to leak out during the cooking process and it's going to be a greasy mess. Next, I'm going to add half of the coconut mixture that we made earlier and just spread it across until it's nice and even. And I'm going to spread it very close to the ends, but just leave a little bit of a border around. This is going to help us to seal the bread. Next, I'm going to roll it up tightly, kind of like a jelly roll, and just start at one end and make your way across to the other end. Now that we've rolled it all up, it's time to seal it. And this is why we left the little border along the sides. Taking the edge, I'm just going to pinch it against the dough, and this is going to seal it and help it to keep its shape as it bakes. Next, you're going to roll it over so the seam is on the bottom. And then we're going to pinch the ends and tuck it under. Repeat this process with the other half of dough and coconut. I'm going to take these and place them onto a large baking pan side by side and let it rise for a second time. And this is what it's going to look like. What I'm going to do is cover this loosely with cling wrap, place it back onto my stove and allow it to sit there for about 35 to 40 minutes, and it should double in size. Then I'm going to remove the cling wrap and liberally brush the tops with a mixture of egg white and water. This is going to make it a beautiful golden color and give it a nice crust as it bakes. Then I'm going to place it into an oven that's been preheated and bake for about 25 minutes until it's golden brown. And this is what it should look like. And you guys, your house is going to smell amazing. These are so delicious. They're so soft. And the filling is just perfect amount of filling, perfectly sweet, not too overpowering. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. I have a lot of fun videos coming up and you don't want to miss those. Be sure to head down into the description box for the link to the full recipe, and also be sure to leave a comment. I'll see you guys next time.